Breaking news. Ramaphosa opposes Trump's 30% tariff on South Africa. South Africa's president, Cyril Ramaphosa, has opposed what he calls the unilateral, higher trade tariffs imposed on his country by the U.S. U.S. President Donald Trump announced on Monday that he would subject imports from South Africa to a new 30% tariff from 1 August. It is the only country from sub-Saharan Africa that Trump singled out in his announcement, reflecting his strained relationship with Ramaphosa's government. In a letter to Ramaphosa, Trump said South Africa's trade relationship with the U.S. has been, unfortunately, far from reciprocal. In his response, Ramaphosa maintained the 30% tariff is not an accurate representation of available trade data. Trump's decision is a huge blow to South Africa. The U.S. is its second biggest trading partner, and South Africa's automobile, farming, and textile sectors had duty-free access to the U.S. market under the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA. South Africa's Agriculture Minister John Steenhuisen said that while Trump was not explicit, his announcement suggested the end of AGOA. More than ever, it highlights the need for urgent reform in South Africa so we can ensure our economy meets the requirements of our trading partners around the world, Steenhuisen said in Parliament. Trump sent letters to South Africa and 13 other countries, informing them of his latest tariff plans. How Ramaphosa might gain from U.S. showdown. U.S. delays higher tariffs but announces new taxes for some countries. The U.S. president said the rates could be modified upward or downward depending on our relationship with your country. We have had years to discuss our trading relationship with South Africa and have concluded that we must move away from these long-term and very persistent trade deficits engendered by South Africa's tariff and non-tariff policies and trade barriers, Trump said in his letter. Starting on August 1, 2025, we will charge South Africa a tariff of only 30% on any and all South African products sent to the United States, separate from all sectoral tariffs, he added. Trump said that if South Africa were to increase its tariffs in response to his announcement, the amount it chooses to raise them by would be added on top of the existing 30%. If you wish to open your heretofore closed trading markets to the United States and eliminate your tariff and non-tariff policies and trade barriers, we will, perhaps, consider an adjustment to this letter. In response, Ramaphosa contested the new tariffs, saying the issue was still under consideration by negotiating teams from South Africa and the U.S. This 30% tariff is based on a particular interpretation of the balance of trade between South Africa and the U.S., Ramaphosa said in a statement. He added that more than half of the goods South Africa imported from the U.S. were not taxed, and the average tariff on the rest was 7.6%. He said South Africa would continue with its diplomatic efforts to ensure a more balanced and mutually beneficial trade relationship with the U.S. In April, Trump imposed a 30% tariff on South Africa as part of his global reciprocal tariffs before agreeing to suspend their implementation for 90 days. Higher tariffs had been set to come into effect on 9 July, having previously been suspended, with White House officials saying they would look to strike trade deals. When asked by a reporter whether the new August date was a hard deadline, Trump said, "I would say firm, but not 100% firm. If they call up and they say we'd like to do something a different way, we're going to be open to that." South Africa and other countries around the continent have been pushing to negotiate trade deals with the U.S. to prevent Trump's sweeping tariffs. Trump argues that introducing tariffs will protect American businesses from foreign competition and also boost domestic manufacturing and jobs. U.S.-South Africa relations hit rock bottom after Trump took office in January. The U.S. president has stopped all aid to South Africa, accusing it of discriminating against the white minority. South Africa has repeatedly denied this. Ramaphosa held talks with Trump in May in a bid to mend relations. However, Trump confronted him with a series of contested claims about the killing of white farmers, and his latest announcement suggests that he is keeping up the pressure on South Africa. Thanks for watching.